Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you read the title, then you already know what we are about to talk about. So yeah, so let's get right into the video. So, remember how in the last video when I was talking about I was in a love triangle? So remember how I said that when me and Jay broke up the first time, it was because we both realized that that we had like different plans for the future. This story takes place during that time. So, around then, I had started hanging out with this guy. We're gonna call him Anthony. Like, I was trying to think of like a fake name that didn't sound anything like his real name. But if I'm being honest, I don't even remember his real name. Like, I have no clue. So we're just gonna call him Anthony because I don't think that's what his name. Anyway, so yeah, so Anthony is Asian, right? Yeah, so Anthony was Korean, but like even though he was Korean, like he wasn't like green. Like he hung around a bunch of black people. Like all of his friends were pretty much black dudes. He just so happened to be Korean, right? So around this time, me and Anthony, we're kicking it, we're hanging out all the time. It's like as far as hanging out, I mean like he would have like kickbacks or parties because Anthony also went to the local university. So, you know, college students, they party all the time, stuff like that. So Anthony, he would like have a lot of parties, a lot of kickbacks at his place, either him or his roommates would. And then he would also get invited to a lot of parties and stuff like that. And then he would like invite me, you know, that kind of stuff. So this was probably the second time that me and Anthony had hung out when this story took place. So it was in October. And, you know, of course, Halloween is October 31st. In the beginning of October, around that time, I didn't get invited into any Halloween parties yet, but I knew, like, you know, I have college friends because Anthony wasn't the only person I was friends with, and then me and Jay, we were still friends, and we would occasionally hang out. So I knew that eventually I was going to get invited to a Halloween party, so I wanted to already have my Halloween costume. Like I didn't want to like wait until I got invited and then like having to be like struggling to find a costume basically. And I already knew what I wanted to be. Like, I knew that I wanted to be a Playboy bunny, right? For one, because I had never been one before. And then back then, I really loved the movie, like, Legally Blonde when she was in college and then they had invited her to a Halloween party. Well, they told her it was a Halloween party. And she came dressed as, like, a Playboy bunny. Like, yeah. So I was like, okay, you know, I think that'll be very cute. So I ordered my costume. I ordered like the onesie, the bunny ears, the gloves, the bow tie, um, the fishnet stockings. What else did I have? Oh, and like the little bunny tail that like goes on the back, right? Like that goes on your bottom. And then because around like October is getting kind of like cold because back then everybody was wearing like the shoes that had like the wedges built into them, if that makes sense. And I had a black pair that had fur around like the top of it. So I was like, oh, this would be perfect. Like a bunny, fur, you know, this is perfect. So that's what I ended up, you know, choosing for my costume. So only thing left for me to do was wait around to get invited to a Halloween party. And sure enough, about a week or so before Halloween, Anthony hits me up and he invites me to a Halloween party. He tells me that one of his friends that he goes to school with, she's having a Halloween party at her house. Yeah, and he wanted to know if I wanted to come and that he was going with some of his other friends. So I said, sure, you know, why not? Of course, you know. So, um, the day of the Halloween party comes. So I had to work that day, but I was going to be off work in time to go to the Halloween party, right? But I had like maybe an hour. So I told Anthony like what time I got off work, and I was like, come by in like an hour. I should be ready and then we can go, right? So that's exactly what we did. He came, he picked me up from my mom's house. So when I got into his car, I got into the passenger seat. And when I turned around, there was two people sitting in the back seat, right? So it was a girl and a guy. So then Anthony starts to introduce me to them, and he was like, this is my friend Bree. Bree, this is Kim, and we're just gonna call the other friend. He was like, this is Kim and friend. So I'm like, oh, hi, how are y'all? And they were like, hey, girl, I like your outfit. I was like, oh, I like yours too. It was very much good vibes. So, oh, and by the way, let me make this clear. So, me and Anthony, we were friends, but he like it was pretty clear that he liked me. Like he was on my body hard. Like that boy wanted me bad. But at the time, like I had just got out of a relationship with Jay, and I kind of was more so into having fun. I wasn't really looking for a relationship at the time. But did I tell Anthony that? No, because I did kind of like him too. Like I liked him, but I like not like I wanted to be in a relationship right away type of like, right? But we pretty much had an understanding, if that made sense. Anyway, so we're driving, like he's driving to the party. It's all good vibes. Everybody is cool, right? So we get to the party, and he wanted to park down the street and then just walk up towards her house, because she had like on campus housing, but it wasn't like, because you like some on campus housing, they pretty much have student apartments. So this was not a student apartment, this was an actual house, but everyone who lived in that house went to the school pretty much. But it was a very big house. So he wanted to park down the street and then walk up to her house, because he was like that there was going to be a lot of people there, like a lot of people from school there, and he didn't want to take the chances of us being ready to go, and then he gets blocked in because everyone's like parked everywhere. So we parked down the street and we're walking up, right? Oh, and mind you, because it was like a little chilly, I decided to wear like a leather jacket, right? Because it went perfect with my outfit, right? So boom. So he gets to the door, right? So it's me, Anthony, Kim, and friend. So he gets up to the door, he knocks on the door, right? So the host opens, and we're just gonna call her host. Like she don't really need a name. So she opens the door, and I kid you not, me and her were wearing the exact same costume. We were both Playboy bunnies. The only difference was that I had on black fishnets and she had on pink fishnets. That was literally the only difference. We had on the exact same costume. I've never been the type of girl to like feel some type of way if like another girl is like, she has on the same outfit as me. I would never feel no type of way about that. Like if anything, like I look cute, you look cute. Like, you feel me? But it was pretty clear that when she opened the door and she also noticed that we were wearing the same costume, that she felt some type of way, because she literally looked at me, looked down at what I had on, and then didn't even say hi, nothing. She immediately turned to Anthony, right? Puts her hands on his shoulders, and she was like, oh my God, thank goodness you're here. Do you mind plugging your phone up to the aux cord, because the DJ lost the charger to his laptop, so he has to run to Walmart real quick to get another one. And of course, Anthony, he's like, yeah, sure, I don't mind, right? And then she was like, great. And then she turns around and walks back into the house, right? And of course, I'm like, that was weird, because if you're having a party and this is your party, this is your house, you're the host, wouldn't it make sense to like speak to the people that are coming in, to at least say hi or something? But no, you decide you want to put your hands all over my man, which technically he wasn't my man, but whatever. Somebody who likes me and that I kind of sort of like maybe is complicated. Whatever. The point is, why would you do that? I felt like she was trying to like be shady or something like that, right? But I'm like, all right, whatever. I peeped it, but I'm here to have a good time, so I'm finna brush it off, right? So so we walk into the party and there's a couple people there. There was no music playing, I guess, because of the issue with the DJ. So so the people that were there, they were kind of like standing in like cliques and they were like having like conversations, stuff like that. Then we walk into like that was like just the living room part. Then we walk into another area, which I would assume is the dining room because the kitchen is right next to it. So we walk in there. Of course, there's no dining room table or nothing like that. It's just a big open space. So in the far corner, it's like a DJ booth. Like it's speakers, it's lights. Of course there's no DJ back there at the time because she said that he had to go run to Walmart to buy another charger like for his laptop. So while oh, so yeah, there was another door that like led to the backyard. So people are like, walking in and out, stuff like that, right? So Anthony goes over to hook his phone up to the aux cord. He starts playing music. I don't remember what kind of music he's playing. That doesn't really matter. So as I'm standing there and I'm just looking around, taking everything in, a guy walks past me. Like he literally walks past me. And I turn around to look and I recognize him. And I realize he's my friend's um Flash. And I don't even know why. So I see my homeboy walk past me, right? I'm like, oh shit, that's Flash. Like, what is he doing here? Me and Flash, we would like link up every now and then and like smoke and talk and stuff like that. Um, Up until that point, we had only like slept together like one time. And then other than that, we would just like chill and like smoke and stuff like that. Like, but it was pretty clear that me and Flash were just friends. Like Anthony was one of my niggas and Flash was one of my niggas. Let's just say that. Because like Flash was cool and all, but like I wasn't really trying to go there with him either because like he just had a lot going on. Like he was going through a custody battle with his BM and like apparently they had been in a long-term relationship before they had their child and then like their child was also very young. Like I don't remember exactly the exact age, but I know that their child that they had together was it was like under one, so like at least a couple months old. So whatever they were going through, their situation was very much new, right? And sometimes he would like vent to me, about like their issues and stuff like that. So and how they were going to court and all this other stuff. So Flash just had a lot of stuff going on. And there was no way that I was going to insert myself into that, especially when I knew that at that time I was just looking to have fun. I wasn't really looking for a relationship, right? And neither was he since he was dealing with all that stuff with like his BM. So so when he walks past me, I'm like, oh shoot, that's Flash, right? So I'm like, Flash, Flash, and I'm like yelling. I'm at this point, I'm yelling his name because the music is playing, right? So I'm yelling his name, and I assume he can't hear me because he keeps walking, right? So I follow him. So I follow him and he goes into the kitchen and I tap him on his back. And he turns around. He was like, oh, shoot. Like, I didn't know you were here. What are you doing here? And I'm like, shit, same thing. Like, what are you doing here? So, we hug each other. And he was like that his homegirl is the host of the party. And I'm like, okay, she's cool with the dude that I came here with. He was like, oh, what you came here with your nigga? And I laughed and I was like, nah, like, we just friends. Like, I came here with him and his friends. And he was like, oh shit. He was like, oh shit. Like, okay, like that's what I thought. So I kind of just laughed him off because like, we was nothing like that. But anyway, so behind him, at this point, we were inside, like, we were standing in the kitchen. So behind him was like, I think like two other dudes, either two or three other dudes were like standing behind him. And so he starts introducing me to them and he starts telling me that they're his peoples, basically. And they were in there rolling up. Pretty much. And of course in the kitchen, like on like the counter, that's where like the bottles and stuff was for like the alcohol. So He gets a cup, he passes me the cup, he pours me something. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, so he pours me something, I'm sipping, and he asks me if I want to smoke with them. And I'm like, shit, hell yeah. So then, as I'm talking to him, Kim comes up behind me and she sees that they're starting to roll up. So then she takes out her, can I say this? I'm gonna say it anyway. So she takes out her grinder and she holds it up and she was like, "Hey, y'all want a match?" And then Flash looks at her and he was like, "Hell yeah, come on in here." So she comes in the kitchen too, and now we're all rolling up, right? So somehow in between that conversation, the DJ ends up coming. He starts plugging up his equipment and stuff like that, and now the party is into full swing, right? More and more people are coming in, like it's starting to get packed basically. And now me, Flash, Kim, and then Flash's two homeboys, there's multiple blunts in rotation at this point, like 2 3 blunts in rotation, so we're all like getting lit. So we're drinking, we're smoking, stuff like that, right? And then eventually I decide that I want to go out onto the dance floor, right? So I go out to the dance floor, I'm dancing, and then finally I see Anthony. Now, mind you, this was the first time that I seen Anthony since we arrived at the party. Like once me and Kim had went into the kitchen and now we're smoking with Flash and his homeboys, I don't know where Anthony went. I hadn't seen him. To be honest, I wasn't really thinking about him. But once I go out into the dance floor and I see him, I'm like, okay, yeah. So, I see him. He got a cup in his hand. We're dancing, we're vibing out. I'm bent over in front of him, twerking, checking the cheeks. You feel me? Of course. So, and then his friends are, you know how it be, like when your man's is, getting the cheeks thrown on him, like they were like, oh, for me, everything is cool, right? So now the party is in full swing. Like there's more people coming in and it's packed. Like it's so packed in there that there was barely any room to dance on the dance floor because it was very much crowded. Everyone's packed body to body, for real, for real. So, oh, I forgot to mention. That when we first walked in, I realized that I'm gonna need to take off my jacket. I had asked him, like, is there somewhere where I can put like my jacket, until we leave? And then he had the host walk me up to her room. She unlocked her door and I put my jacket in there, right? So once you come through the hallway, like leading back out towards like the main door, so the hallway itself is packed body to body, like you literally cannot walk through. Like the living room itself, packed body to body, you can't get through. The staircase, packed body to body, like you literally can't get through. Like it's that many people inside this party. So you can imagine, like, it's very, very hot, right? Very hot. Everybody's sweating. So there were some people that were like walking in and out, but like the host was getting irritated because of that. Like she didn't want people to keep walking in and out of the house. So eventually she was just like, when people would walk out, she would be like, lock the door, as in lock them out, and they would have to walk all the way around to like the front to get back in. However, it was like so many people. There was people outside everywhere. So there's people outside in the backyard. There was even people outside, like in like the front yard and stuff like that. So yeah, very packed. And like, so I'm drink after drink. I don't even know what cup I'm on at this point. Like my limit is 3 of anything. So like 3 shots, 3 straight drinks, 3 mixed drinks. My limit is 3 because after 3, it's no telling how I'm finna act. Like, and that's exactly what happened this night. So I get to my 3 drink limit and I decide to go over that limit. Why did I decide that? I have no idea. But anyway, let's get into it. So now I'm getting like really lit, right? Really lit. And as I'm dancing, I see that Anthony is talking to Kim, right? I see that Anthony and Kim are talking to each other. Now, obviously, the party is so loud excuse me, that I can't hear what they're saying. Like it was to the point where like they're talking face to face, but it's like he's leaning by her ear to say something, then he leans back, then she leans in his ear to say something, and then she leans back. And I guess they can't hear anything either, because then I see Anthony wave her over like this, and then they walk outside, like they walk out the door, like the to go to the backyard. So I'm like, what are they talking about? Now, mind you, any other time I probably would not have cared. Not probably, I know that I would not have cared. But because I got these drinks on me, like I'm feeling the drinks and I'm feeling some type of way because I'm like, she has been looking at him kind of funny all night. Hmm. But do they got something going on? And mind you, she probably was not looking at this man funny all night. They probably had nothing going on. But me in my drunk mind, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they have something going on. I'm thinking she had been looking at him funny all night. You feel me? So so now I'm trying to figure out what is going on. Like what are they talking about? So I walk over towards the door, and somebody, it's like somebody as in like I don't even know who it was, some random party goer, he opens the door to come in. So as he's opening the door to come in, I go like this and I look. Before he shuts the door, I'm looking to see if I can see them, and sure enough, I see them. They're standing in the backyard, but kind of like off to the side, and they're still standing face to face, and like they're talking. Like I still can't hear what they're saying, but like I see a lot of this going on. Like I see a lot of like hand movements, right? So now I'm really intrigued. But of course, the door closes, and that's it, right? So then I decide not to go out there, but I decide to wait until Anthony comes back in to ask him like what were they talking about. So time is going on, and at this point I'm still very much lit, like very very much lit. It's getting to the point now where my vision is starting to get blurry, and I know my vision is getting blurry because I'm sort of stumbling. Like I'm not even dancing anymore at this point because I can't dance if I'm gonna fall, like you feel me, not to mention I got these wedges on. So yes, so it gets to the point where as I'm dancing, I feel someone come up behind me, right? So now I'm twerking on him because I know it's a guy, obviously. And then and then like I don't know what happened, but I lost my footing and I almost like fall, right? Clearly I'm drunk. So I almost fall, and he catches me. He was like, "Whoa, whoa, you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. Like I just need to sit down." So so I get up because I'm bent over, obviously, at this point. So I stand up straight and I'm like walking to try to like go to the kitchen so I can either get some water or lean against the counter. Like I need to sit down. I need to collect myself. And this is when it gets weird. And he notices that I'm very much inebriated, very much so. So as I tell him, like, oh, I'm good. I'm just too drunk. I need to go sit down, right? As I'm telling him this, he was like, "Oh, nah, like, come on, like, let's dance. I want another dance." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll give you another dance in a minute. Like, I just need to go sit down, like, real quick." He starts like, how do I explain it? Like, he has his hands around my waist, but he started like rubbing like my legs, like rubbing like my thighs and stuff like that, and it just seemed off to me. It seemed off. Like it seemed like I need to get away from him. Like that's the vibe I got. Like I need to get away from him and fast. So as I'm trying to walk away, one of his friends come up, and he don't like I'm not gonna give him a name either. So one of his friends come up, and he was like, "Yo, what's wrong with her? Is she good?" And then he was like, "Yeah, she good. Like she just need to go sit down." So he was like, "All right, come on, let's help her find somewhere to sit." So we go into the kitchen. At this point, the kitchen is empty and there's nobody in there. So the first dude, he pulls a chair out of nowhere. He pulls out a chair. It was like one of those folding chairs. So he unfolds it, he puts it down, and he was like, "Here, you can sit here." And I sit on the chair, right? As I'm sitting in the chair, like both of those guys are standing in front of me, right? So I'm like trying to get myself together. I'm like rocking back and forth. Like I can't even sit up straight. So now they're both standing in front of me. So then what the guy, the second guy, he was like, yo, you sure you good? Cause you don't look like you good. Like you want something to drink, like you need some water. And then the guy one was like, nah. He's like, nah, bro, I think she need to drink some more. And they start laughing, right? And I look up at them, and when I look at them, they're not looking at me, they're looking at each other. And they had this look on their face, right? They had this look. And you know the look I'm talking about. They had this look. And then guy one was like, let's go outside real quick, I think we need to get you some air. Like, come on, let's go. And now they're trying to lift me up out of the seat. And my mind is screaming, run, run, get away from them. Fast. So I get up out the seat, vision still blurry. But I know, like, nah, I need to get away from these two creeps. I need to get away fast. So that's exactly what I do. I start speed walking to the dance floor, speed walking, drunk as hell to the floor, right? And I don't see Anthony, I don't see Kim, I don't see Flash, I don't see anybody that I know, right? Which is even more frightening. So I walk past the dining room, and now I'm going into the hallway where it's like super duper packed, right? It's super packed. And I still don't see nobody, right? So then I turn back around. I turn back around and I see one of Flash's homeboys that he introduced me to in the kitchen. I seen him, right? So I walk up to him, right? I walk up to him and I was like, "Hey, have you seen Flash?" And he was like, "Yeah, I think he went outside real quick. Like he should be back in here in a minute. Like, why, you good?" And I'm like, "Nah." I'm like, "Nah, yo, like them niggas is weird. Like they was trying to do some shit to me, like, and I don't feel safe in here, like, without anybody that I don't know." So he was like, "Come on, come in the kitchen with me. Like, I'm gonna make sure you good. I'm gonna make sure don't nothing happen to you." So I'm like, "All right, bet." So we walk into the kitchen, right? We walk into the kitchen and like I'm standing next to him. He was like, "You want to smoke some more?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So then he starts asking me like what happened. So I'm telling him what happened. I was telling him how like them niggas was trying to do some shit to me. Like they was not trying to help me out. They was trying to do the complete opposite, honestly. So after I'm telling him, he was like, "Nah, that's fucked up. Like them niggas is weird. Like, nah, like we finna handle that for sure." So I'm like, "All right, bet." So shortly after that, Flash comes back in, right? So Flash comes back in, he sees me. He was like, "Oh shit, like I've been looking for you all night. Like you disappeared." So I'm laughing. I'm like, "Nah, like I've been on the dance floor, I've been in here, like I've been a little bit everywhere." So so then we're just gonna call him homeboy because he don't really need a name. So the homeboy walks over to Flash, right? And I can't hear what they're saying, but I can only assume that he's telling Flash what I had told him. Because after that, he was like, "Yo, some niggas was trying to like what? They was trying to touch on you," and like I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Who was it? Who the fuck was it?" Like, nah, like them niggas got to get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, who the fuck was it? So then I told him that I knew the guy because I do know him. I know exactly who he is. So I was telling him that I knew him, but I didn't know his friend. So he was like, what did he say? I almost cussed. Well, where is he at? Is he on the dance floor? I was like, probably. He was like, "Yeah, come point that nigga out to me, right?" So we go out into the dance floor and I'm looking around and I don't see him or his friend, right? So I tell that to Flash, I don't see them. So he was like, "All right, well, if you see them again, like you come get me and you let me know. Like them niggas not finna get away with that shit." So I'm like, "All right, bet." So at this point, I'm like on the dance floor. Like I'm on the dance floor, you feel me? And finally, I see Anthony. Finally. So I see Anthony and I'm asking him because now I'm going back to when I last saw him and how he was talking to Kim outside. So I see him and I'm like, "So what's up with you and Kim? Like, what y'all like each other? Like, do you like her? Do y'all used to talk? Like, like what's up with y'all?" And he was like, "Nah, that she's just one of his close friends, and it was never nothing like that, between the two of them. They just always been cool." So I'm like, "Well, I saw y'all talking, like, is she good?" He was like, "She just got a lot of other stuff going on, and because of that, she ended up going home. Like, she didn't stay at the party, she ended up going home." So I was like, oh, okay, well, what about her friend? He was like, yeah, her friend went with her. So I was like, oh, all right, cool. So then as we're talking, I see that guy and his friend walk into the kitchen, right? And now, mind you, Flash is still in there. So I was like, hold on real quick. Like, I gotta do something. So I walk into the kitchen and I tell Flash, I'm like, there they go right there, like him and that nigga. So he looked and he apparently he knows the dude too. So he says his name and was like, yeah, nah, like that nigga out of pocket. So he walks over to them, to both of them, right? I can't hear what's being said, but I can tell by his body language that Flash was like pressing them niggas. And then he called me over there. I'm thinking like, oh my god, not this nigga is calling me over there. Like, so he calls me over there, and I walk over there, and he's telling the guy and his friend, he was like, nah, like, this is mine. Like, don't fuck with her. Like, you can have anybody else at this party, but not this one. And they was like, all right, cool. Like, my bad, yo, my bad. And that was it. And they walked out of the kitchen, like the guy and his friend, like they walk out of the kitchen. So what's his name? Flash turned to me. He was like, "You sure you good?" Like, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. Like, I just don't think that I'm finna drink no more. Like, if anything, I'm just finna just smoke the rest of the party because I need to like sober up for sure." So yeah, so the rest of that time I stayed in the kitchen with Flash and his homeboys. So we stayed in there chopping it up or whatever like that because it was like two packed. So eventually, of course, the party ends up getting shut down because it was just way too many people. So so now there's people clearing out, there's people leaving, right? So Flash is asking me, he was like, you coming home with me tonight? And I was like, nah, like, I told you, like, I came here with my friend, like, I'm finna go find Tim, and then I'm finna, like, leave with him. He was like, what, you going back to that nigga's house? And I'm like, nah, like, he finna take me home. Lying, because I already had, we're gonna get into that. But lying, I was lying. I was not going home. I wasn't going to Anthony's place, and I wasn't going home either. So Flash is like, nah, like you coming with me tonight, and I'm like, nah, like I'm not, like I'm finna go home. I'm finna go home. So he was like, nah, like I'm gonna go tell that nigga that you staying with me. Like where he at? Where he at? Like yeah, I'm gonna tell him that you coming home with me tonight. So I'm laughing. I'm like, yo, chill, chill. Like it didn't even gotta be all of that. Like just chill. Like I'm gonna get up with you another time because I already had plans that night. Like I already had plans to link up with another nigga that night, and I was gonna lie to Anthony and have like we'll get into that. But anyway, I already had plans. So I was telling Flash like, nah, like I'm gonna have him take me home. I'll get up with you another time, right? So then Flash was like, all right, well, give me a kiss before you leave. So I'm like, okay. So, I start kissing Flash, but like I don't know if it was like the tree and the alcohol. I don't know. After we got done kissing, he was like, "Nah, you coming home with me." Like I don't give a fuck what you told that nigga. You coming home with me. Oh, I ended up telling him that I told Anthony that we were gonna like that I was gonna leave with him, which I did. You feel me? So I'm telling Flash again, like, nah, like I'm gonna get it with you another time. Like I promise, like I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow. You feel me? And we gonna make plans to like link and stuff like that. So he was like, all right, you better hit me up. You better hit me up. I'm like, all right, I got you. So then I find Anthony, right? So I find Anthony, and he was like, "You ready to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, but like I gotta get my jacket out of host's room." So he goes to find host, and he was like, "She left her jacket in your room." She was like, "All right, well, hold on, stay right here, and I'm gonna go get it for you," because it was too many people upstairs, which was true. Like even though the party was over and there's people clearing out, like there was still a lot of people at that party to the point where the living room was still packed, the staircase was still packed, right? So she goes and walks up the steps, right? So as she's walking up the steps, me and Anthony are talking. I don't remember what we're talking about. Oh. So like, am I taking you home? Like, am I about to take you home after this? I was like, yeah, I'm tired. I got stuff I got to do tomorrow. I've been drinking. Like, yeah, I think it's best that I go home, right? And I could tell that he felt some type of way because obviously, like I said before, Anthony liked me. He liked me a lot. So I knew that he wanted me to like spend the night with him But here's the thing, like me and Anthony, we never slept together, never did anything sexual. All we would do was hang out and kick it, you feel me? He already liked me way more than I liked him, so I felt like if we did take that step and I did sleep with him, like it just was not gonna turn out very well for him, because I knew that I didn't like him in the same way that he liked me. I knew that I just wanted to have fun and he was looking for a relationship, right? So, host comes down, she hands me my jacket, they say their goodbyes, and now we're walking out of the party. As we're walking out of the party, me and Anthony are holding hands because it's a lot of people there and I don't want to get lost, right? So, me still being drunk, insane. So, as he opens the door, oh my god, I'm getting secondhand embarrassment from this. He's opening the door to go out, and there's still people coming in, right? So he opens the door and he steps back to let a crowd of people come in. So one of the people that he lets come in is some tall black dude. Never seen him before a day in my life, right? But I see him, I'm drunk, and what do? I take my hand and run it up his crotch. Why would I do that? I don't know. Anyway, he looks at me. He gives me this lustful look, like the look like he wanted to take me down right there type look, right? So I don't say, but we don't say anything. He looks at me like that, and I look back at him like that. Never seen a man before a day in my life. I don't know, but like I don't say nothing to him, and he don't say nothing to me. Like we just walk out the door. Um, insane. Anyway, so we get inside of Anthony's car. Yeah, and I'm texting the nigga I'm finna go link up with. Now, mind you, I lied to Anthony, and I told Anthony that he was gonna drop me off at my homegirl's house and I was gonna stay there for the night versus going home because my mom was gonna trip about me coming home drunk. Even though, to be honest with you, she wouldn't, like, my mom would have never known I was gonna come home drunk because for one, I had a key, and for two, it was so late that she was gonna be asleep by the time I got in. So she would have never known. And even if she did know, she probably wouldn't have cared, to be honest. But I knew that he liked me and I had to tell him something, right? So, but honestly, to tell you the truth, Anthony did not buy the fact that I said I was going to my homegirl's house. He didn't buy that. Like, he knew I was lying. Even though he knew I was lying, he kept driving. He kept driving to the location I was giving him. And he kept but he kept questioning me on the way there. He's asking me those type of questions. So when we get to the area, he's asking me like, okay, well, you're super drunk, so do you need me to walk you to her door, or is she gonna come out and get you, right? And I'm like, oh no, she's gonna meet me halfway. And the reason why I said that is because the nigga that I was linking up with, he didn't know another nigga was dropping me off. He didn't know another nigga was dropping me off, and Anthony didn't know he was dropping me off to another nigga. Like, period. And I didn't want them to know either. So I told Anthony, I was like, oh, she's gonna meet me halfway, lying again. Because the dude didn't know that a nigga was dropping me off, and because I didn't know, like, he lived in an apartment complex, but I didn't know exactly what apartment. He was gonna meet me at a certain spot. I didn't want them to see each other, basically. So I needed to get out of Anthony's car fast. Like, nigga, unhand me, let me go, right? I knew he was asking questions because he knew that I was lying. And he was trying to catch me in a lie. But I had an answer for every single question. Long story short. Anyway, I ended up getting out the car. I ended up walking to the big oak tree where I met the nigga halfway. Yeah, so I ended up going to his house and I ended up like spending the night with him, and then he drove me home in the morning. And this guy, I'm not gonna give him a name right now because I have some story times about him, so he's gonna get a name then. But but he liked me as well. Like, he liked me like same way Anthony liked me. Like, both of these dudes wanted to be in a relationship with me, and I was just looking to have fun. Like, I didn't want to be in a relationship with either of them. So was I leading them on? Maybe. Yeah, I was leading them on. And the guy who Anthony dropped me off to, like, he ended up getting tired of me leading him on. He ended up calling me out on my bullshit. But that's gonna come later in another story. Like, he was not playing games with me. But yeah, that's gonna be in another like story time. But like, yeah, so Honestly, like now that I look back on it, I do feel bad. Like I feel bad for how I treated Anthony because he was very much a good dude. He was a good dude. He was a good friend, and he probably would have been a good boyfriend too. It's just I just wasn't looking for that at the time. I just wanted to have fun. Like I wasn't really looking for a relationship because I had just got out of one, right? But yeah, that isn't excuse for what I did, like lying to Anthony, like kissing other dudes at the party, like yeah, even though he never questioned me about any of that, like he never spoke on it. I don't even think he saw it. But yeah, still, it doesn't make that cool. So there's that. And yeah, if I could take it back, I would, but everything happens for a reason. And that was honestly, that was the last time I saw Anthony. I think after that he got tired of my bullshit too. Because after that, me and Anthony never hung out again. But yeah, so this is the end of this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for staying to the end. So yeah, see you in my next video. Bye.